Is the promise to Abraham fully realized in Abraham's descendant, Jesus, and the good news for all nations is true circumcision of the heart and not just the flesh. How did Abram's name get changed? What does Abraham mean? When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, "I'm God Almighty. Walk before me faithfully and be blameless. Then I'll make my covenant between me and you, and will greatly increase your numbers." Abram fell down, and God said to him, "As for me, this is my covenant with you. You'll be the father of many nations. No longer will you be called Abram. Your name will be Abraham, for I've made you a father of many nations." What did God promise Abraham? Was it one nation only? "I'll make you exceedingly fruitful, and I'll make nations of you, and kings shall come from you. And I'll establish my covenant between me and you, and your descendants after you in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and your descendants after you. Also I give to you and your descendants after you the land in which you're a stranger, all the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I'll be their God." What was the sign of the covenant? Was there a spiritual circumcision that this eventually pointed to? Then God said to Abraham, "Your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all your descendants have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. You must cut off the flesh of your foreskin as a sign of the covenant between me and you. From generation to generation, every male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. This applies not only to members of your family, but also to the servants born in your household, and the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking the covenant." Was Sarai's name also changed? What did God promise for her? Did Abraham laugh? Isaac means to laugh. God said to Abraham, "As for Sarai your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but her name shall be Sarah. I'll bless her, and moreover I'll give you a son by her. Yes, I'll bless her, and she'll be a mother of nations. Kings of peoples will come from her." Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed, and said in his heart, "Will a child be born to him who's 100 years old? Will Sarah, who's 99 years old, give birth?" Abraham said to God, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before you." God said, "No, but Sarah your wife will bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac." Yitzhak, meaning to laugh. "I'll establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant for his offspring after him. As for Ishmael, I've heard you. Behold, I've blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. He'll become the father of 12 princes, and I'll make him a great nation. But I'll establish my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this set time next year." Did Abraham obey God, or just believe? How quickly did Abraham obey God? When God finished speaking to him, God ascended, leaving Abraham alone. Abraham took his son Ishmael, all those born in his household, and all those purchased with his silver, that is, every male in Abraham's household, and he circumcised the flesh of their foreskins that same day, just as God had told him to do. Abraham was 99 years old when he circumcised the flesh of his foreskin, and his son Ishmael was 13 years old when the flesh of his foreskin was circumcised. That same day Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised. All the men of his household, those born in his household, and those purchased with silver from foreigners, were circumcised with him. Who are the children of Abraham spiritually speaking? Do Christians have faith? Are Christians also children of Abraham? What does Galatians say? And so you should understand that everyone who has faith is a child of Abraham. What circumcision is more important to God? What does this circumcision of our hearts entail? Then Adonai your God will circumcise your hearts and the hearts of your children, so that you'll love Adonai your God with all your heart and all your being, and thus you'll live. According to the New Testament, which circumcision counts? What makes for a true Jew? But a Jew is one inwardly, and circumcision is a matter of the heart, by the Spirit, not by the letter. His praise is not from man, but from God. Is the promise to Abraham fully realized in Abraham's descendant, Jesus? And the good news for all nations is true circumcision of the heart and not the flesh. You decide.